Eugene Frank Molnar was a Canadian reverend and writer. He was born in 1891 or 1892 in Szentes, Hungary. In 1926 he went to minister in Kipling, Saskatchewan, then in Windsor, Hamilton and Calgary. He became a Canadian citizen with his wife in 1931. But I don't know which. He first married Clara Bertha Becker, then after their divorce he married Rosa Waldman. He died in 1986. He wrote some tracts on organized religion and labor, but he seems to have only written one book, his 1934 The Slave of Air, a Sumerian Legend. Now, noting that the state of Assyriology was far less advanced in the mid-1930s than it is today, one still finds this book to be quite a hodgepodge where the principal characters of this Sumerian story are still named Japhet and Miriam, but it only gets more weird from there. The book is prefaced by the author going on about his pet theory that human civilization has been around for millions of years. The story takes place in Sumer, which Molnar equates to Atlantis, seemingly forgetting that cities like Babylon existed in history, since he has them located on a sunken continent thousands and thousands of years before they were said to have existed. Also, this civilization is super advanced, having massive power stations and trains and long-distance communication and visual projectors and the printing press. We see Ishtar rowed out on a boat by the young Sitnapishtim. She knows he loves her, but she also loves their mutual friend, the genius Satun. To resolve the issue, she takes a poison that brings about inevitable slow death. She tells Sitnapishtim to always be the friend of Satun and dies. Then Satun operates on Sitnapishtim and disfigures his body and makes him a hunchback, experimenting on him to find out how to make himself immortal. Satun withdraws from public life and legally changes his name to Nobody. He creates horrible weapons and commits human experiments for years in secret, with Sitnapishtim as his assistant, always mockingly calling him the gnome. In the meantime, we see Japhet, son of Gilgamesh, who has married his little friend of childhood days, his Miriam. At this time, Satun has become ruler of the United Empire of Atlantis. But one day he meets Miriam and sees her resemblance to Ishtar, over whom he has never stopped obsessing. So he kidnaps her to his secret city of Air, while introducing the love cultus of Ishtar to the Empire, slowly ruining all society. Japhet, meanwhile, is on the way to Golden Cup, on engineering assignment to the main power station of the Earth, ruled over by the mighty Magor. Together, Japhet and Magor move to find out who had sabotaged a part of the main energy works and who had kidnapped Miriam, suspecting both to be the same. In going over to a blocked-off section of the tunnels, Japhet is ambushed by Sitnapishtim, who recognizes him and leaves him a message. Satun had tried in the meantime to turn Miriam towards himself through the power of his will and hypnotic suggestions, and Sitnapishtim tells her to play Satun false to gain the secret of the sinking mechanism, a machine Satun created to destroy the world if something were to happen to him. Miriam comes to admire Satun and would betray Sitnapishtim to him, but then she goes and sees the humans slaughtered by wild beasts in his circus and the human sacrifices, and she learns the truth and works to betray Satun. In the meantime, Japhet had become the ruler of Golden Cup and comes to the city of Air to see Miriam. But he is caught by Satun and has his eyes burned out. Miriam works to deceive Satun and lock him inside his own machine and imprison him within the bowels of the earth for the next 10,000 years. She succeeds, but they have only 5 years to prepare for the coming apocalypse due to Satun's sinking machine. In the end, Miriam and Japhet survive, but the entire million-year-old civilization is consigned to dust. The story has interesting moments, such as when we learn of Satun's slaves digging tunnels being chained to rotting corpses, or how Satun operated on prisoners to create nymphs and satyrs and made them forget their past lives. But on the other hand, about halfway through, the author goes on long-winded tirades about capitalism, random future visions of Jesus and John the Baptist, and long notes in the margins about how evolution can't be true because of gravity, and how the brain is not responsible for the mind because a woman had a brain tumor removed that one time and was fine afterwards.